All right, so you have a new series and a new book out, 5-Ingredient Fix.
Yes.
And I guess my first question is, so why 5? Why 5 ingredients?
You know, the number 5 I thought was few enough that it still made it easy and simple for everybody. It also helped keep it cost efficient because there's only 5 ingredients in each recipe. But it was also a big enough number that I could play with variety and maybe the complexity or depth of flavor in each recipe. So 5 was kind of that magic number to keep it simple, affordable, approachable, but also basically where I could still do some amazing things with few ingredients, because I really want to teach how easy and amazing few ingredient cooking can be.
Now, when you say 5, does that include your spices and your seasonings?
It includes everything but salt, pepper, and water.
Okay.
The only things that are not counted, salt, pepper, and water. People never believe me on that one, but I'm telling you, count my ingredients. It's only salt, pepper, and water that are my freebies, and everything else counts. And the way I write recipes is I'll take a star, such as the egg, which is something I'm talking about today, some new egg recipes of mine. And the egg can be the star of my new dish. And then what I'll do is maybe put a supporting cast together. So I'll choose, like it's fall right now, and the root vegetables that are coming out are incredible. You can take things like you know, the fingerling potatoes or the sweet potatoes or parsnips or carrots. I mean, those are incredible ingredients. But, you know, those are things I like to just buy on my way home, because when I buy those way in advance and I stock up my refrigerator and countertops with lots of produce, I end up not using them, and what was once a beautiful carrot is so rubbery that I can tie my shoelaces with it. You know what I mean? We've all been guilty of that. So, so I like to keep a couple things in my refrigerator, a couple things in my pantry, just to make it easier for me, but all those ingredients still count when I use them in a recipe. But that way I can get protein in my diet, because I'll keep things like eggs in my refrigerator. Eggs, butter, and then olive oil and balsamic in my pantry. Those are probably my top 4 musts. And then I play with other things, like it might be, sometimes I buy milk, sometimes I buy bacon, sometimes it's a fresh herb. But really, eggs and butter, those are your 2 musts for your refrigerator. Your pantry, keep olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And then stop on your way home. And so, you know, when we get inspired and we walk by a farmer's market or see, in the grocery store, a big pile, like right when you walk in, of, let's say, asparagus, and it's on special and in abundance right when you walk in. Well, it's on special and in abundance because it's in season. And it's usually put right in the front of the produce section of your grocery store, which is usually where you walk in. And when it's on special, but it's also the best, like it's the peak of its flavor right then and there. So grab that, take it home, and then use the olive oil you already had in your pantry, a little salt, pepper, throw it in the oven, 400 degrees, for about 20 minutes till it starts to get kind of crispy and caramelized and bring out those natural sugars. And then your eggs that you have in your refrigerator, you've got to get protein in your diet. You can't just eat asparagus. As every rockin' mama would probably say, nutrition should be balanced. And then a little bit of butter in your pan, just a touch. You don't need a ton. Take those eggs and slowly scramble them. Now, when I say slow, I mean low heat and slow scramble. And you'll get that, what I like to call fancy hotel egg, that they charge like 20 bucks for those incredible scrambled eggs that you're like, my goodness, did they put an entire bucket of cream in here and tons of cheese? No, they didn't. It's all a technique, and it's that slow and low technique. But the nice thing is 20 minutes to roast your favorite vegetable, 20 minutes to make the eggs. It all comes together at once. Put the eggs on top of the vegetable, and that's kind of a one-dish wonder, and it's delicious. Eggs are not just for breakfast anymore.
It's funny that you were asking, or you were talking about the 5 ingredients that you should have, because that was one of my questions, so I think you read my mind.
Well, I feel like it's 5 is my magic number, and people like to know what they should keep, how to keep a well-stocked kitchen. I think that's something that every chef is asked. And for me, I live in New York City. I have a Barbie kitchen, okay? I can't keep a lot of stuff on hand, but I'm just like anybody else. I'll go to the farmer's market and think, oh, wouldn't it be nice? And I can just go shopping at the farmer's market, and it's almost romantic to think that we can do that and never have to go to the store again. No, 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 no. We have to go to the store for our staples. And there's nothing worse than having that wonderful experience at the farmer's market and then going home and realizing that you have this long list of stuff you got to go get at the store. So I think it's just easy on all of us. I keep eggs in my refrigerator, I keep butter in my refrigerator, I keep olive oil and balsamic in my pantry, so when I run out of those, I'll just go get those, and then I can kind of have that really awesome farmer's market experience and be able to cook, you know, cook in that enjoyable way where it's like romantic in the kitchen. I wrote all these egg recipes because I partnered with Eggland's Best, because they partnered with Susan G. Komen for the Cure to raise awareness for Breast Cancer Month, and I love that. I mean, we should all be, especially us girls, should all be supporting that in every way possible. Those pink ribbons, they stamped that pink ribbon and EB all in pink on the egg. And I think that that's awesome. So I wrote some recipes for them to put on their website and partnered with them to help their cause. And also I love their nutritional value. They have 4 times more vitamin D, 3 times more omega-3s. They're just packed, eggs are packed with vitamin B12, E, A, B2. And it's something that if I have that on hand, I can guaranteed get nutrition in my body, in my family's body, and not have to run to the store to get meat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of celebrate the season's vegetables. And I mean, check out the baked egg casserole. Oh, it's so good. And I want you to be the executive chef of your own kitchen and play with the ingredients. I made mine Southern in style because I'm a Southerner. So I have, you know, I have stone ground grits that I make with milk and water. You could do polenta though, an instant polenta with milk and water. I do Southern sausage, you could do Italian sausage. I do Gruyere, but you could do Parmesan. And then put a spoon on the top of it all, and like the back of a spoon, make this like a hole for an egg, like making a toad in a hole. Pop an egg into a dish, break it, and then put your egg right on top where that little hole was that you made. Pop it in an oven, some salt and pepper, individual little ramekins, and have your friends over. And it's delicious. Kids love it because it's like their own little dish. I think it's a great, there's some great things you can do with eggs. You'll be blown away.
That's wonderful. I guess you kind of mentioned some of your favorite recipes, so but what would be maybe your top recipe for kids?
For kids, you know?
Using eggs.
Using eggs for kids. I think the frittata is a fun one. I have a zucchini frittata here. I would probably play with this for kids. What I think is really fun to do with kids is to get them in the kitchen with you and let them choose what they want to go with their eggs. So if you're making this big fluffy frittata that's like a big fluffy pie of eggs pretty much, you know, let them see the process, how fun it is that you're throwing it all in one pot and moving it around, and then you put it in the oven and let them see what happens when it comes out. And when you cut into it, they'll see their secret hidden ingredients that they added in there. So my zucchini frittata is to my flavors. I like zucchini and goat cheese, so that's what I put in mine. Follow the same technique, same process, swap out those 2 ingredients for maybe your kid's favorite and let them help you cook in the kitchen so they get to take ownership of that recipe and they get to help serve that recipe to your family. And you know, the same thing with the baked eggs. That baked egg casserole can be changed to other flavors. But I really think the frittata is probably the fun one because you can, the more you whip that frittata, the bigger it grows. And I think kids love to see that transformation of liquid to fluffy, fluffy, big frittata, you know. It's a fun thing. I mean, it's still even fun for me.
I love frittatas. They're so yummy.
So yummy. And you know, you can make them in advance. And I love to make mine, let it cool in the pan, and I pull it out and put it on a cutting board and go in and cut triangles and then wrap those up. So when I leave the house in the morning, like let's say you're running the kids to school in the morning, we're also guilty of stopping for fast food breakfast again and again, and then we wonder what's wrong with us. You know, they're like, I'm not feeling so good. Well, you know, I can make this on like one day I've got free, and then I've got, you know, like probably 6 big slices or 8 normal size slices. Grab that to go and you can have it already wrapped up. It's delicious to go. I mean, it's how all those places that sell quiche wrapped up individually, already cut, you know? So it's the same principle, and you can do your own to-go breakfast. So it's funny, most people don't think of a frittata as a make-ahead, but it really can be.
Yeah, I didn't think that you could make it ahead of time, actually, so that's good to know.